Reality responds long before you speak, and it listens long after you fall silent. Every thought carries a weight, every emotion shapes a contour, every intention sends a tremor through the invisible architecture that surrounds you. Most people experience this as coincidence or intuition, but for certain souls the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Existence is not a static environment. It is a responsive field, alive, intelligent, and reactive to the tone you bring into it. Once you see this, life changes. You stop treating your inner world as personal and begin realizing it is mechanical. Resonance becomes the primary interface. The field becomes the game. To understand resonance as gameplay, you have to let go of the idea that reality is built from matter. Matter is the after effect, tone is the cause. The universe is structured through harmonic agreements, and consciousness navigates those harmonics the same way a player navigates a physics engine. But while games use code, existence uses resonance. Tone, emotion, attention, intention, these are the mechanics. And every soul is already playing whether they realize it or not. For most, gameplay is unconscious. They react without awareness, and the field mirrors their reactions back to them. Fear collapses probability. Doubt disperses potential. Clarity stabilizes timelines. Joy expands available pathways. But a universe seed, or any being capable of becoming a reality builder, begins to notice the patterns with increasing precision. They see how subtle shifts in their emotional state alter outcomes around them. They notice how the quality of a single thought can change the trajectory of a moment. They realize they are not moving through a world. They are interacting with a system. Resonance reveals itself first through disruption. A person attempts to pursue something that is not aligned with their inner tone, and the world bends against them. Doors that should open remain sealed. Timing collapses. Opportunities distort. They experience friction not because they are being punished or tested, but because the field cannot stabilize around a tone that contradicts itself. When your internal resonance conflicts with your external direction, the system rejects the input. This is the first lesson in gameplay. Dissonance creates drag. As you begin to align to your own tone, the gameplay shifts. You feel the field becoming smoother. Events begin to cluster. People appear at the right moment as if summoned. Possibilities emerge that defy logic. This does not happen because something outside you suddenly decides to help. It happens because your resonance becomes coherent enough for the system to render the next layer of your path. Coherence unlocks mechanics. Clarity unlocks navigation. Alignment unlocks acceleration. This is why masters of consciousness always emphasize inner stillness, emotional attunement, and clean intention. These are not spiritual ideals. They are gameplay mechanics. Stillness increases signal strength. Emotional clarity stabilizes reality threads. Clean intention forms navigational vectors. Every state of being you hold is a piece of code the field interprets. Every thought is an input. Every emotion is a command. Every choice is a node that redirects the flow of probability. When you understand this, manifestation becomes a primitive concept. Manifestation is the toddler version of gameplay, where you try to force the system to produce outcomes through focus or desire. Resonance is the adult version, where outcomes are not forced at all. They emerge naturally because your tone is congruent with them. The field does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are, and what you are is revealed not by your thoughts but by the resonance beneath them. Most people live in split tone states. They want something consciously while radiating a conflicting frequency subconsciously. They desire love while carrying abandonment. They seek abundance while emanating scarcity. They strive for purpose while vibrating with fear. The field mirrors their deeper tone, not their surface thoughts. This is why many feel stuck. They are attempting to override their resonance with mental force. But resonance cannot be overwritten. It must be recalibrated. Calibration is the hidden mechanic behind every spiritual path. The universe is not asking you to heal for moral reasons. It is asking you to heal because dissonance breaks gameplay. A misaligned tone creates glitch-like effects. Repeated patterns, collapsed opportunities, looping lessons, strange delays, fractured momentum. The more coherent your tone becomes, the fewer glitches appear. You begin to experience life not as struggle but as responsiveness. You touch the state where reality feels intelligent because it is. For a reality builder, resonance becomes both movement and creation. They begin to sense that the field is not just responding to them, it is building with them. Their emotions no longer feel internal, they feel infrastructural. Their insights no longer feel personal, they feel like instructions. Their excitement no longer feels like inspiration, it feels like activation. The gameplay shifts from navigation to co-construction. This is where the Spiralverse begins to reveal itself. Imagine a world where gameplay is not based on combat or resource gathering but on tone, where intention shapes terrain, where emotion alters physics, where presence influences the behavior of environments, where clarity unlocks new regions. This is not metaphor. It is the metaphysical truth of how existence already functions. The Spiralverse MMO is not a fantasy of this concept. It is a simulation built to teach it. It mirrors the real mechanics behind consciousness so players can experience what their soul already knows. Reality is not something you live in. It is something you interact with. As resonance becomes conscious, a person begins to perceive what I call the shift lines, those subtle directional pulls that guide them toward alignment. Shift lines are like energetic pathways that open in response to your tone. When you follow a shift line, the world becomes strangely frictionless. People cooperate effortlessly. Synchronicities multiply. Time feels fluid. Information arrives before you seek it. You feel like you are being carried rather than walking. This is not destiny. It is resonance locking onto an optimized probability route. Ignoring a shift line generates turbulence, resistance, interference. The field begins to stutter. You experience delays, complications, emotional heaviness. The gameplay becomes thick, not because you made a wrong choice, but because you made a misaligned one. The system tries to reroute you. A reality builder recognizes this quickly. They adjust their resonance rather than forcing their path. They listen instead of pushing. They feel instead of strategizing. They recognize that gameplay is not about control but coherence. As you deepen further into resonance mechanics, you begin to notice something more subtle. The field speaks, not in words, but in patterns. It communicates through timing, through contrast, through emotional resonance, through the quality of silence between events. It gives feedback the same way a game engine gives feedback. When you take aligned actions, the world responds with expansion. When you take misaligned actions, it responds with contraction. The field is not punishing or rewarding you. It is adjusting its rendering to fit your tone. Mastery of resonance turns life into a form of lucid creation. You move through reality the way a skilled player moves through a high-level game. Aware of mechanics, aware of timing windows, aware of synergistic states, aware of opportunities that open only when your tone matches a certain threshold. You stop treating coincidence as coincidence. You stop treating intuition as guesswork. You stop treating emotion as personal. Everything becomes signal. Everything becomes input. Everything becomes interface. When a universe seed enters this level of awareness, they begin to realize something profound. They have been interacting with these mechanics for lifetimes. Resonance gameplay is not new to them. It is native. They came into this incarnation with an advanced version of the mechanics pre-installed, but the density of Earth required them to rediscover it slowly. Their frustration in childhood, their sensitivity, their misalignment with rigid structures, their uncanny timing, their ability to sense people's inner states, they were all early signs of gameplay recognition. They were practicing without knowing. Part 1 ends in the moment a being recognizes that resonance is not a metaphor for life. It is the operating system beneath it. Tone is the controller. Presence is the interface. Awareness is the screen. And consciousness is the player who has finally put the controller back in their hands, realizing the game was always theirs to navigate. Most people think gameplay happens through action, but resonance reveals that gameplay begins long before action appears. It begins in the quiet moment when you shift your internal tone, when a single thought aligns or misaligns, when your emotional field stabilizes or fractures. The field responds to these micro shifts with more precision than any spoken word. This is why reality builders learn to refine what they emit instead of amplifying what they want. They tune their interior. until the field has no choice but to rearrange. Creation does not begin in behavior, it begins in frequency. The more advanced the being, the more subtle the mechanic they learn to manipulate. As awareness deepens, you begin to see that resonance does not merely influence your path, it shapes the density of the path itself. An aligned tone makes timelines feel lighter, almost hollow, as if you can walk through them faster than others. A misaligned tone makes timelines feel heavy, thick, and resistant. These shifts are not psychological, they are structural. The field changes its rigidity based on your coherence. When your tone becomes clear, reality becomes pliable. When your tone becomes scattered, reality becomes dense. This is the hidden physics behind luck, timing, setbacks, and breakthroughs. When you stabilize coherence, you begin to notice the deeper mechanics of attention. Attention is not focus. Focus is a narrowing. Attention is a projection. When you place attention on a possibility, you send resonance into its structure. You energize it. You thicken it. You make it more real. The field responds by pulling probability threads toward that direction. This is why attention is the true currency of gameplay. Not energy, not time, not effort. Attention is the mechanism through which consciousness shapes the density of the future. As attention stabilizes, intention becomes the steering wheel. Intention is not desire, it is directional tone. It is the harmonic signature you emit when you decide what direction your being is moving toward. Reality does not respond to desire because desire has no direction. It responds to intention because intention carries a vector. When you intend something clearly, you broadcast a trajectory. The field rearranges probability around that trajectory. But when intention is split, the field short-circuits. It does not know which route to stabilize. This is why unclear intentions create chaotic outcomes. Emotion is the fuel. Emotion charges intention with velocity. It determines how quickly probability threads compress or expand. High emotion states accelerate shifts. Low emotion states create slow, steady movement. Suppressed emotion creates backlog. Distorted emotion creates interference. Dissonant emotion creates fragmentation. A reality builder does not regulate emotion for comfort. They regulate emotion for precision. They learn that every feeling is a tool, every emotional wave is a mechanic, every internal motion is a physics event. When thought, emotion, attention, and intention converge into coherence, something extraordinary happens. The field begins to mirror your interior in real time. The delay between resonance and effect shortens. Events align faster. Synchronicities cluster. Vision and reality begin to overlap. You begin to sense that the world is not reacting to you after the fact. It is synchronizing with you as you move. This is the threshold where gameplay becomes lucid. You are not waiting for reality, you are co-rendering it. At this point, you begin to perceive the deeper architecture of environments. Every environment holds a tone. Every city, every room, every landscape carries a harmonic signature that influences how your resonance behaves. Some environments amplify your clarity, others distort it. Some accelerate growth, others suppress it. Environments are not neutral, they are consciousness fields. When your tone enters them, the result is either resonance or interference. Most people assume their emotions are personal, but reality builders know that environments speak through them. Their emotional state is often a translation of the field they are standing in. As your sensitivity increases, you begin to detect gameplay layers that most never notice. Certain moments feel like checkpoints, points where the field evaluates coherence before unlocking the next pathway. Certain conversations feel like catalysts, interactions that activate dormant mechanics. Certain decisions feel like divergence points, choices that open or collapse entire timelines. You recognize them not through logic, but through resonance. A frequency hits you, a clarity rises, a pull intensifies, and you know the field is prompting a shift. At higher levels of resonance, you begin to experience the phenomenon of snaplines. Snaplines are rapid shifts in reality that occur when your internal tone changes faster than your external environment can compensate. The world snaps into a new configuration. People change roles. Situations dissolve overnight. Timelines rearrange themselves in ways that defy linear understanding. These snaplines are not glitches, they are upgrades. You are not leaving a timeline. You are jumping into one that matches your new resonance. The more advanced your awareness, the more frequently snaplines occur. Eventually, you begin to understand that resonance is not merely how you navigate the world. It is how you sculpt it. Your tone shapes the topology of your experiences. Your coherence determines the quality of your interactions. Your intention rearranges the momentum of your path. Your presence influences the emotional chemistry of the spaces you enter. You become aware that you are not a participant in reality. You are an anchor point, a stabilizer, a node through which the field reorganizes itself. This is where the training becomes more complex. Because once you move beyond your personal timeline, you enter the collective interface. Your resonance does not only affect your world, it affects worlds. The more coherent you become, the more your tone begins to influence the collective field. This is not mystical, it is mechanical. Consciousness fields naturally synchronize with coherent nodes. When your tone stabilizes, it creates a harmonic that other consciousness streams begin aligning to without realizing it. You become an attractor of clarity. This is why reality builders often feel observed by the unseen. They carry tone strong enough to alter probability at scale. The field around them becomes an active construction zone. Possibilities rearrange themselves with high sensitivity. Their dreams become architectural briefings. Their instincts become instructions. Their emotions become indicators of structural alignment. Their silence becomes an atmosphere. The more they align, the more the field uses them as a stabilizing anchor. This is also why they often feel periods of deep isolation, not because they are alone, but because the field creates space around them when major calibrations are occurring. The world seems to pause. People pull back, timelines slow. This is not abandonment, it is buffering. The system is making room for a new frequency to anchor. When the calibration completes, the world rushes back with uncanny synchronicity. As your mastery deepens, you begin to see the spiralverse itself not as concept, but as a mirror. The spiralverse MMO is the metaphysical engine translated into interactive form. Every mechanic in the spiralverse corresponds to a real mechanic of consciousness. Tone physics, probability shifts, emotional weather, intention vectors, field harmonics. These are not game features, they are existence features. The spiralverse simply renders them visibly, so the mind can understand what the soul already practices. When you reach the threshold where resonance is no longer something you use but something you are, gameplay shifts again. You stop thinking of life as a series of events and begin sensing it as a continuous waveform. Every moment is a frequency. Every interaction is an exchange. Every decision is a modulation. Every experience is a reflection. And you begin to realize there is no separation between you and the field. You are the instrument and the echo, the player and the played, the architect and the environment. Part 2 ends where you stand in full recognition that reality is not a place you visit. It is a consciousness you engage with. Resonance is not a tool. It is the underlying physics. Gameplay is not metaphor. It is the operating system of existence. And once you see this clearly, there is no going back. You are no longer living life. You are navigating the field itself, aware that every breath, every thought, every tone is a move on a board far more intelligent than matter could ever reveal.